Today we begin our week-long series, Is America Ready? And we're going to start by asking, is America ready for legalized marijuana? With Mexican drug lords killing at a record pace just south of our borders and 14 states here in the U.S. already making medical marijuana legal, is it time to legalize it across the board and allow the government to tax it? Jeffrey Myron is Director of Undergraduate Studies at Harvard University. He's the author of an extensive study on legalizing drugs titled The Budgetary Implications of Drug Prohibition. David Evans is an attorney and special consultant with the Drug Free America Foundation. He joins us via Skype. Jeffrey, let's start with you. How much, in your estimation, would the government save, strictly in terms of financial terms, by legalizing marijuana?
We'd save something like $13, $14 billion per year from not enforcing the marijuana laws, not making the arrests, not making the prosecutions, not locking up people in prison on marijuana charges. We would probably also raise something like $6 billion in taxes on legalized marijuana.
And we see the other figures, $23 billion there for cocaine, $12 billion all other drugs, $48.7 billion. Again, explain where the savings is coming from specifically.
The savings comes from the fact that in order to enforce a prohibition law, we have to arrest people, we have to prosecute them, we have to lock them up. Those use lots of resources. And so if we legalize, we don't expend any of those resources, just as we don't spend any resources locking people up for alcohol anymore, contrast to what we did during alcohol prohibition in the 20s and 30s.
David Evans, how about it?
Well, I think that the idea of legalizing marijuana is a very bad idea, very bad policy. It's actually going to increase expense. Most recent study in California that looked at this, because the legislature there was considering legalizing marijuana, estimated the marijuana use would go up by 30%. So that means that all of the costs with marijuana use would go up. For example, in the United States, for people under the age of 25, we have 99,000 emergency room admissions per year where they come in saying that they're there because of marijuana. This is from the Drug Abuse Warning Network. So healthcare costs are going to go up, productivity costs are going to go up. If you legalize it, you're going to have to allow legal advertising, promotion, expansion of market share. All of that's going to go up. And if we wind up having as many people using marijuana as we do alcohol and tobacco, the costs will be astronomical. And alcohol and tobacco is a very good model.
Jeffrey, what about, Jeffrey Myron, what about that argument that you have all sorts of other costs that go up if you legalize it? The cost of treating people, he mentioned hospitals, the number of emergencies, trying to get people in terms of lost productivity. What about all those costs?
I think those costs are grotesquely exaggerated. First of all, we're already experiencing a lot of that cost because the vast majority of the people who want to consume marijuana are already consuming it. Legalization, based on the evidence, seems very unlikely to lead to much of an increase in marijuana use, and therefore it's not going to lead to much of an increase in any of those costs. The second thing to note is that prohibition, the current policy, has huge costs beyond just the ones that we discussed earlier, beyond just the arrests and the incarcerations. All the violence that was in Mexico that was being discussed on your show just a few minutes ago, that's due to prohibition. In a legalized market, okay, rival traffickers, rival sellers don't shoot each other, they just take out advertising in order to compete. Now, you may not like the fact that there's advertising, but it's far less costly for society than the incredible violence that's spurred by prohibition.
Jeffrey Myron from Harvard University and David Evans, an attorney and special consultant with the Drug Free America Foundation. Thank you both so much for coming on. We appreciate it. And we want to hear from all of you, our viewers. Do you think America is ready for legalized marijuana? Go to tv.msnbc.com and cast your vote. And by the way, in tomorrow's special edition of our series, we'll be talking about prostitution. Is America ready to legalize the world's oldest profession? How much money is at stake there? That's tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern right here on MSNBC.